Alright folks, it's day 7 here, I believe.
Yep.
Day 7 here. I've got to go to the grocery store to get some things to eat, so we have actual food. But I think Seth is capable of holding down the fort.
Alright, I got started a little early this morning here, and this is kind of what I have going on. So the countertop is going to have a 45-degree angle in it. These are our switch holes right here, and the switches will run down there. The wiring will run through this hole and then down through this hole, and then it comes out of the wall right around here. And that's just kind of to keep it above the plumbing. You don't want to have your wiring down below your plumbing, because then if anything were to leak, then you've got a short and you've got more issues. So the plumbing, then the sink will be about right here, and the plumbing will run through this hole, and then the gray water will go straight down through that gap right there and out the bottom of the van. The water tank sits in right here. So what I've been working on here is this fill line. You can see, maybe you can't see very well on camera. Right back there is the water tank. Aside from that, we got some track saw work going on, because the next section of the build is the back cabinet that goes in there. I need this cabinet width and everything to be determined before I can build the bed, because in this one we have a little bench that's going to sit right there, and that'll stay a bench at all times, even when the bed is out. Obviously we want to get this as close as possible. It's pretty close. I did a lot of measuring side to side and found that the top was, you know, however much closer than the bottom, and then the curvature started at whatever height, yada yada yada, and I got pretty close. So basically you take your widest point, your widest gap, whatever, which is that, and then you'll take the scribe, and basically you can put a pencil in it as well, but to get more accurate results I'm just using the thing itself, and then we'll go in and fill it in later. Okay, so you can see here I just filled in my little scribe line with pencil, and basically you can see like how at certain points it's very, very thin, very close to the edge, but then up here it gets thicker as you go. Test fit time. Let's see how well we did. One done. Best thing about this is that once you have one, you can trace it and cut out your second one.
We've semi-given up trying to clean the shop, if you haven't noticed. We're at a point where it only looks like this 12 hours after we do a full cleaning, so not really worth our time at this point. I think we'll do a deep clean after cabinetry, but as long as this guy is creating all the sawdust he is every day, not really worth it. So this is kind of the point in the build where Lula and I take a step back and let Seth have his space. He's the big cabinetry guy around here, and he enters a new persona when he takes on cabinetry. So we give him his space, and we do what we can. I'm the big prep guy, so I'll prep all the cabinets he puts together and paint them eventually. But for now, we kind of, you know, hang low and do our own thing.
You guys let me know, is it helpful to see basically everything that I'm doing, or just like the basics here and there, a few helpful tips, and then, you know, how I'm gonna do it, and then after I've got it done. Right now I've got both of them clamped together. I already made the cut after I traced it out, and then I just have them clamped together so that as I'm sanding them, there's no inconsistencies across between them. Definitely recommend having a few clamps on board. These ones have been awesome. We have a few. We have the small ones, and then these big ones, and they're just Jorgensen off Amazon, so we'll link those down below. those clamps I was talking about earlier were super useful because I clamped basically these two corners to the sawhorses, and then I was able to clamp across. I did one on the bottom, one on the top over there, and I was able to basically tap this into place with a hammer. You can see there are my lines right there, and I have those drawn all the way across, so on both sides. Same thing up here. There is absolutely no way to turn the thing upright, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is divide it into the uppers and then the rest of it. So this piece will have these three sections from here down, and the uppers will be independent from those, and then I'll have to put them together to get once everything's in the van. Face frame on part one is done. You can see I went with a thinner face frame. I basically just ripped a piece of pine that I was using down in half. So quite a bit thinner, but it should be a really nice sturdy base. And then now I'm going to work on part two, which is that cabinet. Just wanted to show you guys this real quick. I know there's probably a lot of time-lapse footage and stuff of me using nails to get all this stuff in. And I am using nails because it's very easy to clamp something together and quickly nail it down. And I'm using very long nails, and they're very sturdy with the wood glue and everything. But as an extra precaution, I'm using these 2-inch cabinet screws here. You can see it. So basically it's very easy to sink them in like that. I just wanted to show you guys as an extra safety feature. I don't personally think that you should ever just nail cabinets together in a van. They're going to be moving around a lot. They're going to be shaking around a lot. So that's what I'm doing here and on this side that I got mocked up this morning. Okay, so this cabinet is in, and basically it's split right there in the middle. I'm going to still have to do some finessing basically to get it to fit in there the way I want it to, but for now it's in, and we can see something for the day. Big news for today. I still have 10 toes. So at me. Got this big boy behind us done, the full floor to ceiling one. And I didn't really film a lot today. I didn't really feel like there was much to show. It's just cabinets.
See you guys tomorrow before the planes come.
Day 8.
Good morning, it's day 8. Today we're working on our bed and couch. This is what we have so far, so hopefully we can get it done in a day, and let's do it. Alright, so while Seth is chugging away at the bed and the couch, I'm taking the time to check off a small little project, but a fun one. So these are, or will be, our back panels for the door. We're contemplating doing the same kind of slats we did for the ceiling, so staining pine beams and running them along. After doing this, I think this looks pretty good too as well. So I think we might hold off on staining the beams and maybe wait until we have more of a finished product to see what we like better.
Alright, I want to talk about the couch bed situation for a minute, because a lot of people asked on the last video to do like a more in-depth thing on the bed. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know how, because every time I film, or every time I build one of these beds, I like improve and change the design. But the main gist of it is that you have the slat systems that slide together like this, and the base needs to support that. So what I have here is a frame on top, which is what will clear the slats when they slide this way. And then underneath, because you have to attach a bottom rail on the back side of the slatted bed, I have this, which sits 1/2 inch lower than all the other frame pieces, and this is also a piece of the frame. This one runs all the way back to the wall, all the way down, and ties in at the bottom as well. And basically what that'll do is allow your slats to sit on this and slide so that they don't get saggy, and then you don't have to add a top piece. On Lewis version 1, the bed that we made, we had to add these little top brackets, and they catch all the time, so it really has to be both of us opening the bed. Since this one I want to make basically so that a solo person could open it from right here, we're putting it on drawer slides, and we're also putting this in right here so that the slats will sit on top of this and slide out. Alright, so in doing the bed slat design, there's a couple ways to do it, one of which is to measure everything out and try to get everything exactly. I don't think that works very well, because if you're even a millimeter off here, it compounds and grows constantly as you go over this way. So I'm going to walk you through how I do it, and it took me actually a minute to realize that this is what I did on the last one too, and this is pretty much, in my opinion, the easiest way to do it. So essentially, what I decided was, all right, we want our end 2 to be, this is the piece that's going to pull out from the bed. So we want the end ones to be on this section, and then there will be mounting points on the other side right there, right? So we determined where those were going to be on both sides. Now, because you want both the end ones to be on the pull out section, that also means you have an exact middle. So we also measured to the middle. And then from there, what I've been doing is halving. So essentially you take this big measurement right here from the middle to one end, that's 33 1/4, divided by 2, that's 16.625. Or if you want to make it easier and you're doing inches, it would be a little bit easier in metric, because you could get very specific, but I have a tape measure that's inches right here. So what I've done is 16 1/2 on this side, mark it, 16 1/2 on this side, mark it, and that leaves you 2 marks very close together that you can then take your piece and you line it up just like so. You would then do that again, so half, 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 and you end up with this at the end of it, which it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close when you start sliding another piece in like that.
Is that a slatted bed I see?
If you guys want to see a whole video on this, we're thinking about doing like a 20-minute video on just bed designs. If you're interested, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there that's pretty simple. I'm trying to do it like as low profile as possible, and then also completely self-contained, so it'll be running on drawer slides and everything. So fairly unique design, but I don't feel like there's any way I can fully explain it in just a series video. So if you guys are cool with this, let us know. If you want to see more, let us know, and maybe we'll make that happen in a future build. Here's the bed, not in its final form, but more finished than it was before. And essentially, there will be 2 sets of drawer slides, 750 pounds, that fit in right there and right there. I have room to adjust those, so don't worry about it. It's gonna work. And then it'll slide out like so, and you can lay on it. And the idea is that the drawer slides will hold and support this side of it, so you don't have to do the weird looking legs and stuff like that. And then obviously the other side will be well supported. It's very, very sturdy, very, very good. Here we are, end of day 8, and we started on the bed today, which was pretty good, went pretty well. The bed takes forever and is one of the more stressful parts of the build. So that was fun.
With our last build, we didn't know how much engagement we would get, like just from the fact that we were a new YouTube channel and we were taking a big risk with our first build. So in terms of like filming, it was a strange dynamic, but I want to say that like with so many of you having reached out to us and been so just like excited about the prospect of us building another van, I just wanted to say we are really putting the time and effort into making this build series more informative, more engaging, and just like overall more helpful for you, because now we realize that people are actually like watching it and taking us seriously. So thank you for that. We didn't expect that.
It's very cool.
That's all.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We'll catch you
See
in the next
you
one.
in day 9.